Okay, in this video we're just going to look at how you can register your Atomos device, whether it's a new device or an existing device, and we'll just kind of run through like why you would do that and the benefits of doing it. So the first thing you'll do is you can obviously, in my case I've got a Ninja 5. It's the older version of this one, but you know, they're all sort of much the same. You kind of get your device, and then when you want to come to register it, if you come to my.atomos.com, I'll drop the link in the description for this. It will take you to this page, and then what you'll find is you can either log in if you've already got an account, you know, maybe it's a second device, or you can click on register here, and that will take you to here. And all you need is an email address and a password. You know, obviously just make that up, and then go to continue. It will send you an email, and then you just essentially do the verification on that email just to, you know, prove that it's your email. But I've already got an account, so what I'll do is I will log in, and then you can see the dashboard and what it all looks like. Okay, so once you've logged in, you'll end up with a dashboard that looks a bit like this. You can see here, this is my device that I've registered, and we can scroll up to here and you can see you can register a new device. So what you'll need to do is just jump into this one and then click on it, and you can see it's got all the range of monitors and recorders and everything that they do. And if you're the first time buyer of it, you just put in your date of purchase and who you bought it from. If it's a second-hand purchase, you may find that it's a little bit more tricky, because the device ID, I can show you on this actually. If I take my details from my existing one, you'll be able to see that what happens is it will come back and tell you, let me just fill this out quickly. So B&H, hit submit, and then it will say there, oh, the serial number shouldn't be invalid, but I've obviously copied that in wrong. What it should say, the serial would be valid, and then it would just say that the device ID, or what they call the DID, is already in use. So if the DID is already in use, that means that somebody previously has registered the device, which, you know, I would have thought 9 times out of 10 people register these, because that's where you get all your firmware updates. It's where you can do all the unlocks and things like that, and we'll go to that in a second. But essentially, if that's the case and you're having issues here that the DID is already in use, obviously the person that you bought it from, you can go to them, you can ask them to unregister it. The trouble is, once you have a registered device, you then can't really unregister it, if that makes sense. You can change the details so that it's kind of the wrong device, that we can come into here. You can come in, and then I've only got the option to update the registration. I can't then sort of say I don't want to own it anymore, if that makes sense. So the person can't really do much about it. So from my point of view, the best way to do it is to jump into support. You can just go down the page and go to contact us, and then you'll just want to put in a product support request, and then obviously you just put in your email address. I would use the one from your My Atomos account. Support type, it can just be you know, a question about the product, and then here obviously put in your product number, and then you'll need to put things in like the serial number. And then here in the attachments, what you'll want to do is send them a copy of the receipt where you bought it. Doesn't matter where you bought it from, you know, if it's like eBay or whatever, as long as you've got some kind of proof of purchase, that's useful. And then you'll also want to send them that device ID or the DID number, and say to them, look, I've bought this product, somebody's already registered the DID, and then they will ask you, I mean, you could send this up front, I think you can send multiple files on a support request. They will ask you, can you show us the DID on the screen, which in the register device. You can see here DID, where do I find this? And then it just tells you to find that. You just go to the timecode display and it's under the info tab, and everything will be there on your device. So you just need to grab that, send it off, and then in my case it probably took less than half an hour, and they just came back to me and said that's fine. We've deactivated the device from the previous owner, and then they essentially just set it up so that I could get mine added. And then once you've done that, you'll see it, like you can see my one on here. So this is my Ninja 5, and then once you've got it, you can click into it, and you can see here you can upgrade to Atomos 11. Again, this will vary slightly depending on which one you have. If you've got one of the newer Ninjas, some of it will already be there. It won't be exactly the same, but it's yeah, there are certain bits in there that you want to do. If it's some second-hand devices or first-hand ones, brand new, this isn't going to be activated, some of these bits. So you can activate things like ProRes RAW. You might not use it, but it's a free activation, so you may as well do it. SDI RAW is a paid one. Atomos Connect, again, paid. You've got DNX that you can, again, get for free, so why not just install it? And also the frame grab, onion skin, overlay and custom guides. And I'm going to do a video about that one, so I'll link to that here, and you can kind of check out more about this. But yeah, you can grab all your free upgrades here, and also you'll be able to do your firmware updates and things like that as well. Whereas before, if you don't have the My Atomos account, it can be a little bit more tricky doing things like firmware updates and things like that. So yeah, I'm also do another video about how to unlock these add-ons, what you've got to do, how to do firmware updates, all that kind of stuff. This was mainly just about how you can get in here and register your device and how it kind of works. And for kind of people that have a new device, your main incentive to do this is to activate your warranty. For everybody else, it's really just to be able to unlock all these additional things, and it's the actual account itself is not costing you anything, and there's a few free add-ons, so it's kind of a no-brainer to just do this, really. And there's quite a lot of good fixes and things in there from the very first firmware release to now, because there are still firmware releases coming out. We're sort of April 2025 at the time of recording this, and that's been about 7 years worth of firmware updates. So if you're getting something like the original Ninja 5 and it hasn't had any firmware updates, it's well worth getting all of those done, because there's a ton of bug fixes, quite a few new little features. It's a massive update, so yeah, make sure to get that done. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and please subscribe.